Hey guys, it's RC back with another video for Draft Day Sports College Football 2017. Um, Honestly, I had not played ahead in this league since my last video. I've been steering my interest in other directions. The online league using this game that I'm a member of. So we're getting into some other things, but a lot of people have been asking some questions. In fact, let's see. Come back here. All right, so I've posted the videos up the other day. Got a few comments coming in. All right, now D Houston 1 posted up uh, that he had missed some things in his initial playthroughs. He would like a recruiting video update. Now, two of the videos dealt with recruiting because recruiting in this game is a season-long endeavor. But he wanted an update. We discussed how we're not sure of the tiers. Well, uh, just my response to D Houston. I haven't learned that still, so I'm not in a position to answer that question. And again, these would be really great questions that are, if you have specific questions to bring back to the main forum and ask there, where people like Brooks and AHK, some of the developers and people at Wolverine could get involved in answering these. I certainly don't mind them in my thread, but I'm just concerned that they may get lost. And if I can't answer it because I'm not affiliated with Wolverine or with this game outside of being a college football fan, I do know Gary, and I'll do anything I can to help him. I did mention I used to be an alpha tester, but I mean, I'm not an employee, so I'm not involved in the behind the doors with this game. So, unless I go in and discover this, I won't be able to answer the question. Um, let's see. Any other items you have noticed or figured out? Well, again, I haven't really progressed any, so we'll see about addressing that. I'll try to get through a season uh, today or tomorrow and see if I can't get some more information out to you guys. We are doing this video today, of course. Let's see. Still confused. What do the different points mean? Well, I think that was covered in depth in the videos, what the points mean and how to assign them. Now, as far as a good number of points, I actually answered that here. As far as I know, there's not a set in stone perfect positioning of the points. Um, we showed, I showed that I was playing around with some numbers, trying to get that scouting accuracy or report accuracy to 100%. 20 points at one time does that, but again, as we discussed in that last video where we were doing that, if you put 20 points, you can typically only recruit 3 players or address 3 players. If you've got 20 scholarships, well, then it's going to take you 6 weeks to get through all of them. And if you want to try to recruit some extra players because it's inevitable that you will lose some players, then you've got to kind of think about that when you're assigning those points. So really that's going to be up to you and figuring out what works best for you. I did want to point out AKH, he's one of the guys with Wolverine. He actually put this thread up today, earlier this morning, and he did put up this guide. Now it is locked, but you can ask your questions to this in the main forum. But there's some information here about how some things in recruiting work. So if you don't, like I have, if you have 20 scholarships but you don't sign 20 players, what happens? Well, basically he says here at the end, your coaches will travel the country on signing day to fill your roster. They get a scholarship, so they won't be walk-ons. Here's some detailed information on recruiting points, on how they work, scholarship offers, who to target, going outside the recommended targets if you want to do that. What determines if a player likes me? Um, Now, these are kind of like pitches or what's important to the player, and you learn that by scheduling an interview with the player. There was one thing, okay, in the question that D. Houston had just asked, how many points should I assign? Here's a good answer to that. Basically, the AI will put a lot of points on their players, as many as it can afford. But again, does that mean it's putting 20 points every week and only going after 3 players? Is it doing 10 points on 6 players? You don't know. Just like in real life, Jim Harbaugh at Michigan doesn't know exactly what Urban Meyer from Ohio State's doing when he's recruiting a player. He just has to go in and do what he thinks is best for him in Michigan, and vice versa, as far as going after that one player. And you don't know until the player decides to sign somewhere whether you made the right choice or not. So, however, there was something in here. Oh, right here it says the AI is subsequently very sensitive to the prospect of losing a player and will shift targets if it thinks it's trailing too much on a recruit. So let's say you're going up against the computer for a player, and the computer thinks that you've got the edge, a big edge in recruiting that player. The AI is going to remove its scholarship and quit recruiting that player and go look elsewhere. So you have to be willing to do that as well. And you also about cutting players. So this is in the general discussion forum, and it's the uh, very first one. Now it's not stickied, but it is pinned, so it should stay up there at the top in these top 5. So that's one to go check out because that's brand new today. So definitely go check that out. Now getting back to our game, I've advanced another week. I had gone in, I added some more players. I know I was just kind of doing this, but I wanted to add some more players to the mix. So we got an email update. We signed a cornerback, Claire Way, a 4-star ranked number 73 in the country, and we lost several players. Now these guys may or may not have had scholarship offers, but you can see quite a few of them went to other programs. Um, so we're going to delete that. Delete that. We're going to come back up to, let's see. Go to standings. All right, so we're 3-1 after 4 weeks. Again, I'm just using the default information. Let's come back down into recruiting. And again, let's go down to our my commits. All right, so he's our first commit. Now, I had 10 points here. That has not disappeared, but it is grayed out. And look, I've gotten 10 points back. So that's his 10 points. We spent 40 to sign him, and he had a 99 interest. Now, I can still go look at his scouting report. For whatever reason, we never got a report. So I've signed this guy, but really don't know how good he is. So maybe you don't want to put scholarship offers out early like that, but then maybe you roll the dice and say, hey, he's a 4-star player ranked in the top 75. He's going to be a good get for my program. Now, let's see. We were looking at recommended targets. This is my commit here, and then we can go down and look at the guys that I am recruiting. Okay, and we'll start with the first guy. This is Curtis Yancey. He is the guy I've been going after pretty hard. I've got 10 points on him. Let's see. Let's take a look at his scouting report. For 79%. He's being recruited by these programs. Nothing special. Okay. Now, I've already done my interview. So the thing is, there's no way to tell, to my knowledge, exactly how interested he. Well, I mean, I know his interest level, but I don't know his interest level on these other schools. I don't know who's got offers on him from these other schools. Um, so there's a lot of fog of war, I guess. If you want to bring a terminology in from other games, war type games, there's a fog of war here that we just don't know. So we've got to make that decision whether to stay on him or not. I'm going to go ahead and give him 5 points this week to try to keep on him. Let's go down to Homer Major. Now he's a 99. I just started recruiting him. We have very high interest. So I am going to go ahead and put 6 points and schedule an interview. Now this is something maybe Brooks can tweak here. When you do this, maybe it can actually progress faster. Maybe 1 click or 2 clicks gets you to the very next player card like that. All right, so we've done his interview, 99 interest. Let's check his scouting. All right. Very uncertain on the report, but he is interested. So let's go ahead and drop 6 points on him. And you can see this going one line takes forever. And then if you click in the bar, it skips over a lot of stuff. So maybe that could be dialed in a little bit. Now, I do notice, let's see, let's go back to here. Brooks has made a post yesterday. Is that yesterday? Yeah, that was yesterday, last night. These are some of the things he's currently working on for his second patch. Now, I didn't play Brooks's pro game. I did for a little while, and I gave up on it. And that's no slight to Brooks. There were just some things at the point in time that I quit playing it that I just said, and it was a pro game. And honestly, I've never been a huge fan of pro games. I always prefer the college games, but that's just me. But anyway, one thing I do know from when Brooks was doing his pro game, he is very dedicated to his games, and he puts out a lot of patches and tweaks, and he does listen to what people have to say. Doesn't mean he will definitely do it, but he is at least taking it into consideration if it's something he can accomplish. So right now, we just had a new patch. The first patch was released over this past weekend, and we're 2 days after that patch, and we already have 15 things he's working on for his next patch, which I believe is in beta already for all these fixes. So again, rest assured, Brooks is paying attention to your concerns, your thoughts. Post all that stuff up on the forums because that helps him know what you guys as the buyers of his game are looking at. And he does have a track record and history of really being amenable to adjusting his game for what the people that have spent money on it want to see. So kudos to Brooks for that. But just a heads up, there is another patch coming already. Let's see. Okay, we were coming up to this fullback. We're going to schedule an interview there. And I'm only going to go 3 points because it's a fullback. I'm not a big fullback recruiter. That's just me. We're going to schedule his interview, and we'll go with 6 points. Schedule his interview, go 6 points. All right, schedule his interview and go 6 points. Interview's done, and we'll do 5 points on him. And I think I've got 10 points. Oh, no, I don't. Okay, so we've got 5 points here, so we'll go to 10 on him. 10, 10. These guys. Okay, he's only got 3. All right, so let's raise him up to 8. And that should take all my points. Okay, so I've assigned all my points for this week. Let's go ahead and sim out the next game. And again, I'm spending most of this focusing on the recruiting. Okay, we're going to sim the week. I didn't even go in and adjust my game plan for this game, so oops. We'll see what happens. Now, I do have a question out to one of the guys that do mods. There is a real world mod that changes the names. In fact, while we're right there, let's see if he has responded by chance. World mod. Okay, V Gorilla has responded, which may be to my post. It will not work in existing leagues. Once you install it, it only works with new leagues. Okay, that's what it is. Okay. Well, so anyway, I think I pointed this out, but just in case you missed it, let's go to page 1 here. In the mod list, well, okay, go to Draft Day Sports, go down to College Football Mods, and then there is this Real World mod. And Slybell is the one that did it. V Gorilla had some input for the bowl games. Kudos to these guys. These are the best mods for these games because it makes it more realistic. So you can see here from their little thumbnails, it puts the real logos and in the game. They have the large logos for say the box scores, the small logos for in the game, the real school names and mask team nicknames. One of the things that he did, I have a Norton antivirus, and it doesn't lock up on a lot of stuff, but it did not like his auto installer for whatever reason. Now, plenty of other people have used it with no issues, but he went in, I couldn't even get it to open the file. It just would not let me. So he actually went in at my request and he added a manual zip file. So if you download that, let me see if it's still here. No. Basically what I do is I open that file, I copy everything to my desktop here, and then we can move it into your game file. But I was expecting that it would fix this, but it didn't. So as you can see from that last post from V Gorilla, it only affects the any league that you set up after you install it. So keep that in mind. Install it earlier rather than later. And if you're going to do an online league, you'll probably want to do that before you, have people set up the game and do an initial league file so it's already done. So it won't work with this league. That's okay. We don't really need that, but it is nice. So, all right, we've simmed this week, I think. Did we? I don't remember. Oh, we lost to Arkansas. All right, let's go to recruiting again because I don't remember. All right, so we did. Okay, so let's go to home. I've got 2 emails. All right, we lost 3 more players, all defensive backs. One to Georgia Tech, one to Florida, one to Auburn. All right, back to recruiting. So one of those guys we had recruiting points on. All right. All right, so these are my not recruit. Oh, so this way, this is something new. Where are we at on time here? 6 minutes. All right, so you can see it defaults to not recruiting. Now, these are guys that are on my targeted list that I have not recruited yet. So I can go ahead and start recruiting the next two guys in that list. Then I can go to my recruiting list and they will be in that list. And then I have to go back. All right, so his report is now at 100%. So I'm good there. 77. Again, if I could see something maybe in parentheses right here, what the percentage was, that would be great. Just something to keep me from having to open a new screen and leave this if I don't have to, to know that he's done. All right, so here we're going to go 5 points. And see, it scrolls, it bounces back up instead of locking in. Duckworth. But it didn't do it right there. So that's just weird. Um, Now he already has a point done. I wonder if that was for me scrolling down. All right. Now see, it went past him. And like right here where it says your interest, maybe over here you could put report at, scout accuracy or report accuracy or something with a percentage there. Um, him 5 points. Oh, you know what? Let's go ahead and offer him a scholarship. We'll do 5 points there. .5 here. Schedule an interview. 5 points there. Schedule an interview. 5 points here. Schedule an interview. 5 points there. And I'm at -1, so why it let me put that in, I don't know. I tell you what, I'm going to leave that at -1 just to see what happens. Now, does it take that point from the last guy? Is it going to crash the game? I don't know. So let's find out. Because it doesn't give me any type of warning. I was able to get to here. I'm simming. All right, so either it let me put in more points than I was supposedly able to allocate, or it automatically pulls that from somebody. Does it take it from the last person, the first person, at random? That would be good to know. All right. Come back up to week 6. All right, we beat Florida. We're 4-2. All right, week 7 will be the next week, so we'll go to home. Got some new emails. There's our training. All right, we lost 3 more players. I don't know how many points I was dealing with. Oh, that was training or recruiting. So let's see. I'm back up to 10-68. Right, my commits still only got the 1 player. Right. Everybody should have scholarship offers now. I'm going to come back the other way this time. Now, it doesn't look like I have many guys left here, does it? Here's another thing that would be nice if there was some way that I was able to tell. I guess I could do, no, if I could filter this by position, or have like a little, see, like I don't need to know this right here. Maybe this would be a place that I could show like my roster count, my current number of players, and then how many players I have, that I'm recruiting at each position. I don't know, something, again, just trying to get, what am I actually doing here? I mean, I know I'm recruiting, but how many free safeties do I have? How many quarterbacks do I have? How many do I have on my roster? And again, that would be so helpful to be able to see all of that data on one screen, because basically right here, this entire part of the screen here with the poll and all of these available recruits, right now, to be honest, this is all wasted space, completely wasted space in this field here. When I'm recruiting, all I'm looking at right now is this column and these players on this scroll bar. Um, and that does not seem to be the best use of space. And I know people have mentioned that, and I think he's looking at that. But again, just what else could we put over here on both sides to allow this? Heck, this column could go. Our targeted players could go here, and then this could open up for all kind of data fields. I mean, we could have current stats for these players in high school. We could have their the scouting report stats that show up here. We could have that showing up on this screen. Maybe we could like click on this player and highlight him and have this information right here show up in this field, but then not have to actually close that, just click on the next guy and it would change to him to this field. And and then somewhere show that scouting report accuracy, so I know, okay, I don't really need to assign scouting points because I've already scouted him enough, but who haven't I scouted enough? And right now having to click on every single guy is really just wearing. So anyway, looks like we've made it a couple of weeks here into recruiting. We've seen a guy sign. We've seen some more work with the points. Honestly, I still don't really know what I'm doing that has any positive or adverse effect. Anyway, but hopefully that answers a few more questions or gives a little more insight to you guys for recruiting. Please go check out the information over at Wolverine Studios that I pointed out in this video. Try out the Real World mod because that'll certainly spice your game up with the real logos and conference names and everything else. Hey, game on. We'll talk to you guys later.